Hey guys, I hope you're having a fabulous day. Before we start the lesson, I just want to take a few minutes, or maybe a minute or so, just to encourage you guys and tell you that I know that sometimes, we could get a little bit frustrated with math, and maybe our teachers, we don't understand them, and we feel like, we're kind of dumb. And I just want to tell you that, that it's okay, that sometimes we have to struggle, and not everyone's perfect, not everyone's good at everything, right? Maybe you might be a great dancer, but you might not be good at math. Maybe you might love reading, but you're not good at math. Maybe you might be really great at science and you like math, and you might struggle a little bit in math. But that doesn't mean that you're in any type of way, dumb. It just means that you need a little bit of extra help and practice, and that's what these videos are for. So I just want to encourage you guys, not to give up and not to get discouraged, because I know it can happen. In my class, I have students, that will start to feel that way, and I really have to encourage them and just remind them that that there's no such thing as a dumb student. And I just want to share that with you guys before we start our lesson. And I will promise you this: if you watch these videos and you do the examples, you will begin to learn. And if I can help in any other type of way, just ask me for help, and I'll be there. I'll try to respond as quickly as I can. And I'm creating these videos just because my heart goes out for all those students, that don't understand math, that struggle, and I just want to motivate you to continue trying, and just putting your heart into this, because you will see an improvement in results. But today's lesson, we're going to continue focusing on fractions to decimals, thinking of money. But it's going to change a little bit, because we were used to seeing fractions that ended in the denominators of 10, 4, and 100. And now, as you guys see, these denominators are not 10, 4, or 100. But we're still going to use their strategy of money, remembering that if the denominator of a fraction is 10, we're going to think of dimes. If the denominator is 100, we think of pennies. And if the denominator of a fraction is 4, we're going to think of quarters. And now we're going to introduce something new. You guys see these here? These big numbers, we call those whole numbers. When we see whole numbers, we're going to think of that's whole hashtag. My students always say that hashtag. It's whole numbers. Okay, we're going to think of dollars. Okay, so beginning with this first fraction, as we can see, the denominator is not 10, 100, 4, or there's no whole numbers here. So I'm going to ask you guys a question. What do you guys think that we can do? And if you don't remember, it's okay. That's what I'm here for, to help you. We can actually change the denominator to one of these forms here: 10, 100, or 4. So I want us to, and it's okay if you use your fingers. Some of my students, they use their fingers all the time. I want us to think 20 times what number. Can we multiply 20 times any number that's going to give us any of these here? Now, some of you guys probably, right off the bat, you saw that 20 times 4 is going to give you, times 5 will give you 100. But if you didn't, that's okay. Let's count in the multiples of 20 to see if we could get to 100. Are you guys ready? So it's 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. So 20 times 5, that's equal to 100. And whatever we do in the bottom, so I multiplied the bottom times 5, I got to multiply the top times 5. So 6 times 5, that's going to be equal to 30. Excuse me. And 30 over 100, when the denominator is 100, we can think of pennies. 30 pennies, that's equal to what? 30 cents. Right? So do you guys see how we just converted this fraction into a decimal without having to divide? And you want to do this as much as you can, because it's probably the easiest way of going from a fraction to a decimal. If you could change the denominator to 10, 100, or 4, then you already found it in its decimal form, just by thinking of money. So this next example is a little bit different, because here we have a whole number. And what I'm referring to a whole number is this big one right here. And whenever you see a whole number, we're going to think of dollars. So this means that we have $1 right there. So when when we change this to a decimal, we should end up with $1, okay? And whatever is here, that's going to go in the cents part. So can we change this fraction, ignoring the 1, because we already put it here, could we change this fraction here, or the denominator of this fraction, to 10, 100, or 4? If we were to count by 5, so let's use our fingers, we have 5, 10, right? So we could multiply 5 times 2, and that's going to give you 10. And then 3 times 2, that'll give us what? 6? So 6 tenths, that's the same as 6 dimes. And let's go ahead and count dimes with the fingers as 10 cents, 20, 30, 40, 50. And then over here I have these markers in my hand, but this would have been, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So 6 tenths is equal to 60 cents. And we got to be careful because remember we had $1 here based off of this whole, so I'm going to put the 60 cents on the right side. So 1 3/5 is equal to $1.60. Now, in this next example, we're going to do exactly the same thing. We have 2.5. So very first thing that we're going to do, we're going to circle that big 2, that whole number, and we're going to think of dollars. So that means we have $2, and then over here, this fraction, we're going to change it into decimals, and that will tell us what our cents are. So looking at the denominator of 2, we're to count by 2. The multiples of 2, can we get to the number 10, 100, or 4? Some of you guys can see it, some of you guys can't, and it's okay. Using our fingers, let's count 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So 2 times what? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 2 times 5 will give you 10. Remember, we want to end up with one of these numbers here. These are magic numbers. They're the ones that make our whole life a lot easier when we're converting fractions to decimals. Whatever we do in the bottom, we multiply the bottom times 5. We're going to multiply the top times 5. 1 times 5, that's 5. 5 tenths is the same as 5 dimes. But we got to remember, 5 dimes same as 50 cents. But we got to remember about our $2 here. We can't forget about that. So we have $2 plus 50 cents. It's going to be equal to $2, 2.50, $2.50. I hope this is making sense to you guys. If you guys have any questions, please go ahead and ask me. I'm going to continue, and we're going to do some more examples. These next 3 are also fairly similar, and the first one is actually pretty easy because the denominator is already 4, and we said that when we see a denominator 4, we're going to think of quarters, right? So we could say that we have we have that big whole number, this right here. This represents dollars, whole numbers. We have $2, right? And 3/4, let's change that into a decimal. Well, we know that 3/4 is the same when the denominator is 4. We're going to think of quarters. 3/4 is equivalent to what? To how much money? 75 cents? You guys agree? 1/4 is 25, 50, 75. But we can't forget about our $2, so we got to put these together. So all together would be $2. This is coming from this big whole number, and 75 cents. This right here, this is our fraction, our mixed number in decimal form. And here we have another mixed number, and we call it a mixed number because it's a combination of whole numbers and fractions. So do you guys see the whole number right here? This whole number here tells us that we're gonna have $1. So here I'm just gonna put $1, and now we gotta change this into a and we gotta change the denominator into either 10, 4, or 100. Now we're to count by 20s. Let's count by 20s. We have 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. We can multiply 20 times 5, and that will actually give us 100. Whatever we do in the bottom, so I multiply the bottom times 5. I got to multiply the top times 5. So 15 times 5, let's just here on the side. 5 times 5 is 25. Do you guys agree? 5 times 1 is 5 plus 2, that's 7. 75. So 75 hundredths. When the denominator is 100, we're going to think of pennies. So the same as 75 pennies. And that's equal to 75 cents, right? But we can't forget about our $1 here. So this is going to be $1.75. Again, where did that 1 come from? It came from our whole number over here. And then our very last example, we got to change this mixed number into decimal form. So how many dollars do we have? Do you guys see we have a whole number there? We have this big 3 right here. This represents $3. And now we're going to change a fraction into another fraction that has a denominator of 10, 4, 100. And if we were to count by 5s, can we get to 10, 4, or 100? We could actually get to 10. It would be 5, 10, right? 5 times 2, that's equal to 10. Whatever you do in the bottom, I multiplied the bottom times 2. I got to multiply the top times 2. 4 times 2, that's equal to 8 over 10. And when the denominator is 10, we're going to think of, you guys got it, dimes. It's the same as 8 dimes. And 8 dimes is the same as how many cents? 80 cents. But we can't forget about our $3, so we'd have to put them together. It would be $3 plus 80 cents. It would be $3.80. I hope that these videos are helping you. If I move too fast, go ahead and let me know. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask me, and I'll try to help you. Again, the only difference now is that we're adding whole numbers. And also now we're being given fractions with denominators, not it's not 10, 100, or 4, so we actually have to change it ourselves. Okay, so if you guys have any questions, go ahead and ask me. I hope this video helped. If it did help, please give me a thumbs up. Share it with somebody else, somebody that's struggling. Be a friend, you know, that one student that's not getting it. If you have a buddy or something, go ahead and share with him the video too. It might really help him, okay? Thank you guys very much. See you next time.